Alien Treason.
Chapter 4. Being Human. Zufa watched silently as the Agals ascended, their gleaming ships cutting clean paths through the clouds above. Left alone, the gravity of his exile fully gripped him. He stood there marked, shunned, and utterly abandoned. His brilliant mind, second only perhaps to his father's in all Agal, felt oddly inadequate for the harsh reality now confronting him. Night fell swiftly. Exhausted and overwhelmed, Zufa sought shelter, but he found none. Eventually, he settled into what seemed to be an abandoned stable, curled in the dirt, restless beneath the stars. For the first time in his existence, Zufa truly experienced loneliness, a crushing cold sensation gnawing at his very core. Morning brought shock rather than comfort. He awoke to find that the garden was simply gone, as if erased overnight. Where once stood the lush orchard, now stretched a gaping void, quickly filling with water, becoming a great lake that mirrored the empty sky. Zufa stood transfixed, overwhelmed by the sudden disappearance, the blatant reminder of his exile deepening the wound of isolation. Then the rains came, torrential and relentless, soaking him to the bone. In desperate search of warmth and safety, Zufa wandered blindly toward the nearby mountains, hoping to find a cave. His journey was abruptly interrupted by a fierce mountain lion lunging from the shadows. Just as he braced for impact, his guardian drone intervened, repelling the creature swiftly. Shivering, frightened, and drenched in rain, Zufa finally crawled into a small damp cave and wept bitterly. He had never known such biting cold, never imagined such hopeless despair. Days passed slowly, each one a relentless struggle. With hunger gnawing at him, Zufa realized he needed to apply the very survival techniques he had once patiently taught to humans. It was ironic and humiliating, but survival left no room for pride. Gathering branches and stones, he began to construct a crude shelter. Though his genius mind grasped exactly how to build it, the practical execution was painful and tedious without the right tools. Frustration mounted as his shelter repeatedly collapsed, and his materials proved continually inadequate. He knew clearly now, if the coming years were to hold any comfort, he needed proper tools urgently. Determined, Zufa set out toward the local human settlement, their communal marketplace offering a glimmer of hope. He had nothing to barter except his ingenuity, seemingly worthless amid such primitive surroundings. At the edge of the marketplace, a pitiful sight caught his attention. A woman sat alone on the dusty path outside the communal center, quietly begging for scraps of food. Her body was covered in painful-looking bumps and sores. Villagers deliberately avoided her, convinced she was cursed by some cruel deity. But Zufa saw clearly what they did not: a severe bacterial or viral skin infection. As he approached the woman, several villagers recognized him immediately. They murmured suspiciously, "That's the troublemaker. He's the one who ate the forbidden fruit." Quickly they steered clear, wary that Zufa might bring further misfortune upon them. Ignoring the whispers, Zufa spoke softly to the woman. "May I help you?" She laughed bitterly at first, suspicious of his intentions, then studied his earnest eyes carefully. Realizing his sincerity, she cautiously nodded. With no tools but his profound scientific knowledge, Zulfa wandered into the jungle, carefully selecting herbs and roots he recognized. Meticulously, he prepared an ointment and brewed a medicinal drink, returning faithfully to the woman every morning. Initially, nothing seemed to change, yet Zulfa persisted day after day. Slowly, villagers began to notice. Over 2 painstaking weeks, the woman's skin healed dramatically, every painful bump and sore gradually fading, leaving healthy, smooth skin in their place. Word spread quickly. Zulfa had performed a miracle. One morning, as Zulfa quietly applied fresh ointment, the woman looked up and finally spoke. Her voice gentle yet hesitant. "My name is AA. Thank you for helping me when no one else would." Zulfa paused, surprised but warmly pleased at the introduction. "I couldn't just watch you suffer. Why were you left alone here?" AA sighed deeply, the weight of sadness clear in her voice. "When these bumps appeared, my man abandoned me. He believed I was cursed. Everyone else soon followed his judgment. There was silence between them, comfortable yet filled with unspoken empathy." Her eyes wandered curiously to his mark, a distinctive symbol etched clearly upon his skin. "What does this mark mean?" Zulfa hesitated, carefully choosing his words. "It's from the Agals. They placed it on me for my protection," he explained quietly. She raised an eyebrow skeptically, but seeing the sincerity in his eyes, she chose not to press effort. Within days, more villagers cautiously approached him, each bearing ailments of their own. Suddenly, the once great scientist from Agal, marked, shunned, and alone, became a revered healer among humans. Through kindness and skill, Zulfa had slowly begun to regain their trust and perhaps his own dignity, one act of healing at a time.